I also did a good research and I felt so nice. Then I contacted your team. I told you we should not speak from mouth, we should speak from heart. So as an author, I can frankly say I love your publishing house very much.
Hello everyone, welcome to SGSH publication. So today we are having Dr. Muraly with us. So firstly, I would like to congratulate you, sir, for having your book published with us, and now your book Fairies of Flower is available on all the platforms. So how are you feeling, sir?
Yeah, it's a great feeling, of course. I have already appreciated your work very much.
Thank you.
I'm quite happy about it. I'm excited about it.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so your book is quite very interesting in its own terms, like even the title that we hear. So I just want to know from you, ki, what was the inspiration for this book and how did you think of it? Like, just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. See, basically, I'm a children's favorite man. I keep writing stories for children. I keep telling stories for children. It has been going for so many years. And with regard to this particular book, The Fairy of Flowers,
Yeah.
as the book itself looks so pretty, so beautiful and cute, that's the way I used to compose my stories for children. My motto is entertainment and education. So education through entertainment is my policy, and that's what I have been focusing and trying to do for children. And this, I think it's my ninth or 10th solo book.
Okay.
Especially for children, especially for children.
Yeah.
And regarding this particular book, The Fairy of Flowers, it consists of 50 stories for children. And the prime purpose of this book was to introduce various festivals to children, the significance of each festival, how do we celebrate festivals, what's the purpose of these festivals, and how it makes a difference in children's lives. This is all that, this is the actual main concept of this book. Then, secondly, there are many other interesting stories. Yeah. My focus is always uh, aware children with knowledge based on science, fictions, moral lessons. And all these things are done through fun. So this is the way I compose my stories. And as I've mentioned in my profile, nearly 700 children's articles have already been published in the children's contemporary periodicals in the last 6 years. So I'm a regular writer in the children's periodicals.
Amazing, sir. Okay, so like in your book, you have used some really interesting names, right? Like Katrina Kingfisher and so many others. So I just want to know, like, how did you come to like think of such unique and such interesting names for the children? Like, they are also going to have a lot of fun while reading this book.
Yeah, sure. See, as with regard to my children's stories, I have five main characters. They play vital roles in all my stories. Major roles are played by these five characters. Yes. One is Indu Rabbit, then is Chandni Bulbul, then Chameli Cockatoo, Katrina Kingfisher, and Susanna Skylark. So these five characters, they play vital role in almost 90 to 95% of my stories. Of course, with some other supporting characters. So, but these people, it has become in such a way that they are residing with me in my thoughts, in my dreams, and automatically, I have certain figures in my mind when I use these characters. Yeah. So, especially when I write for children, as you know, people feel it's very easy, but frankly speaking, children's literature is extremely tough. True. Because an author or the writer has to go to that particular age, stage, and level. Then only when I speak something, when I write something, and when a child reads that, he or she will be able to enjoy that. So if I have to write a story applicable for example, age group, say 3 to 5 or 3 to 8, then I have to take myself to that particular age. My
Yes.
mindset should reach there. Then only my writings will affect the children who reads that.
True.
So these 5 characters have got different shapes and forms in my mind. And when I frame a story, I decide, yes, what exactly it's going to be. Then accordingly, my main characters will play the role and with some supporting characters. So these 5 people are there always, and you can see how funny things they do, how how
Indeed,
they
yes.
fight, how they do magical things. No, like it's a combination of things. Like
Amazing.
so, this is the way all about my characters.
Yeah. Okay. So a very interesting thing you have just said, like whenever you have to write a book for children, you have to like think according to them and then you can write. So I want to know from you, like a child psychology is very different from what an adult thinks. So how are you able to do that like analysis and वो किस तरह से आप judge करते हैं या how do you work on it so that it becomes very understandable and entertaining as well to the like children.
Yeah, see, frankly speaking, from the age of 4, I've been telling stories.
Okay.
First, I started telling stories for my 2 younger brothers, and my age was just 4 at that particular time. So I don't need anything. I just sit and I just start speaking, and it becomes a story. So this is what happens usually. And many years passed. My brothers grew up. Then they went away. Then they were replaced by some other children. So I kept on continuing my storytelling for all these period. And in 2016, once it came to my mind, I have been doing this. Now why not to write this? So till 2016, I was writing for mature readers. Okay. But not to a very high platform. Yeah. So 2016, first time this thought came to my mind. This is my field. Children's literature should be my focus. Yeah. And as I told you, education through entertainment. So this is all that I wanted to do. And I wrote 2 poems. I sent to some magazines. Mm-hmm. And the very first 2 poems were published. Then I wrote one story. It was sent to another magazine that also got published. So this is something so great that your very first article getting published is very uncommon, frankly speaking. People write for many years. Yes. See, I think if you frankly ask me, nowadays, on olden days, even publishing a book was very difficult. But nowadays, publishing a book has become very easy because of many publishers and many criteria and so many things, as you know. But getting your name in a magazine is extremely difficult because throughout India, throughout the nation, authors are writing into that. So they select out of hundreds and hundreds of people. Even I myself know personally a few of my friends. So many years they have been writing, they have been sending, but never ever got published in any of the periodicals. So it's very tough. But the plus point is when we get established in periodicals, then our name is fixed. Yeah. So by the name itself, but now if you talk about children's literature, I do write English maximum English stories and English stories, rhymes, poems, comics, illustrated stories, and plays also I write for children. So that name has got in the market, and the moment I speak to someone, yes, first question they ask, how many of your articles have been published? So I have an answer to that. So that gives a big plus point and plus an easy process for further things like. So this is the way things go.
Amazing, sir. Okay, so the way you have explained about writing stories and this like is really interesting, I would say. So I would like to ask you, like for the budding writers, what advice you would like to give? Like how can they improve their craft or they can be like more confident in their craft?
One thing I can very frankly admit. See, it's basically this singing, writing, drawing, painting, all these things are basically an instinct. By birth, you get it.
True.
Okay. Yes. Then, as you said, how can we improve? So, improvement will happen only when we have certain qualities related to these fields. There are certain things which we can go attend a class, learn that, then we can perform. But this is not something. This is something not like that.
Yeah.
Here, if a person has that instinct, by looking at anything, he or she can just start writing.
True.
He or she can start painting, drawing. As you know, it's very clear. Now, improvement happens as a writer. If you ask me, I can improve as a writer only when I am a good reader.
True.
I should be ready to read others.
Yeah.
I should be ready to accept others. I should be able to visualize the uh, composition done by many other veterans so that I get more knowledge, more information, and then I use my own talent into that. So a person who is sincere, that's the first thing which I would always like to say. Now this is the A time. So now you can see like the people who do not have any control in the language also start writing. So it has become very easy nowadays. Yeah. But still, you can very well make out when a person writes of his own, of her own, from the heart, if it is written. Even as a publisher, I am sure with the very first manuscript, a person can very well make out whether it is an on or it's an software assisted tool or not. Okay. Yes. So as you asked me, I can very well admit that yes, a person has to be true. If an artist is true, then only he or she can really grow. Otherwise, to some extent, they can go, but there has to be a day or time that a fall has to take place. Because truth always wins. There is no doubt about it. So when I am able to write from my heart, the real truth, the real feelings, the real emotions, then only you or any other person can accept that.
Agreed.
And that is the way I have won the hearts of children, numerous children. And that is why I feel so happy.
Amazing.
So we
Okay,
can
so
improve like that. Yeah.
yes, sir. So when we talk about like AI and its indulgence in the writing industry or be it any, industry, we see that a lot of times it gets misused. Like you also mentioned that a lot of people try to use AI for writing these stories and things like that. So, and yes, it is happening at a very, I would say, large scale nowadays because even in you will see a lot of places you will see like the even the scripts and everything are getting made by the AI. So, what you would like to talk about it, like the people are using it for just getting some maybe fame or something like that, but how is it actually hampering this industry?
This see how it's happening in the industry. I will not be able to explain it because if you ask me frankly, till today I have not used AI technology. So I have no idea. But recently I wrote a story on this topic for children. So I was just reading on Google about the plus and minus. So only that much portion I know now about AI. If you ask me frankly, so in that it's very clearly said a person can take help of a tool to improve the language. That's accepted, that's fine. But you cannot completely depend upon the plot or the entire writing is done by software, then it's of no use because it's something like you are stealing someone's. And one more thing, what I would read in the text is like they have very clearly mentioned. See, any software, it's all working based on a data bank. So whether it's AI or whatever be the software, they have got a data inside. From that, they pick it up and they update you. That's what. But when a person sits, his brain, his mind, his heart have no limitations. It's beyond sky. Your imaginations, you can take your imaginations beyond sky. And that is where you become successful. Your writings touch the hearts of people when you write from your heart. So that's what even during my speeches I used to tell children, do not speak from your mouth, speak from your heart. Automatically that will win the hearts of people. It will win the hearts of the audience. So in case of a writer, to win the hearts of readers, Just be sincere, be true to yourself. Automatically, others will feel that and they will be very happy with your writing.
Very well said, sir. I completely agree with you. Like writing itself is an art, and it can only be, more interesting or familiar with the people when they are able to to really feel it, and that feel comes only when the person is actually like have poured themselves into their work. So indeed, you have explained it really well. So okay, my next question to you is when we talk about like since you, I would say you are kind of an expert when it comes to writing the books for children. So we see the children nowadays, and when we see them maybe a decade back, so there would be a lot of differences into the kind of the way they think and the kind of learnings they have. So how do you manage these things, right? Because if you would have written a book a decades back, so that would be very different. Your whole method would be different. But now when you're writing, so how do you inculcate these things?
Yes, it's very clear that a person is not only in the field of writing,
Yeah.
even in your own life, if you have to be a successful person, you should be able to accept the changes from time to time.
Yes.
That's very simple formula. It's very simple formula.
Yeah.
So I am such a person. Now, as you asked, it's a very valid question. Even I keep on saying others. See, nowadays, no one likes advices. Very simple. Whether it's a child or a mature person, no one wants advices. See, olden day stories, if you focus, those days, majority of the stories were on that context. See, now, if you look at whether it's a story, whether it's a film, or whatever it is, the main plot is almost same in all the times. As far as we all live in this world, our lifestyles may change, but the life is same. Only
Yeah.
the mode got changed, the style got changed, the expressions got changed, that's it. But the emotions are always same. So, with regard to a book, when you speak, yes, to write a successful story for today, the number one criteria should be in your mind is you should know the attitude, the psychology, and the interest of the present generation.
Agree.
And you should take yourself to that level, as I mentioned earlier. So when I sit to write a story for a child or for children, first, yes, I make in such a beautiful platform or setup inside my heart that yes, if the story is aimed at, for example, 3 to 5, my first step is to take me to that world. Now, it will not be my childhood world. It should be this time.
Yes.
Okay, now every time it cannot be a grandma telling stories or grandpa telling stories. No. Even I have written grandma, grandpa stories, but it's completely a different concept where the grandma start acting more than this generation's people. So they are more active. They do some karate, they do some other practices, or they'll be doing some biking or something like that. So even I used to visit schools. They used to call me chief guest for certain programs, and during my speech, or even after speech during my interactions, the casual, unofficial interactions with the children, these things I always used to feel because there is a lot of gap. The people say generation gap, but it's not exactly a generation gap. The generation gap happens only when we are not ready to accept the present generation. When we are ready to accept this generation where we live present, then there is no generation gap. So
Yes.
if you ask me, as a writer, I have blocked my mind many decades ago.
Okay.
So when I write, I'm a kid, or when I'm writing for little mature people, I'm at that particular stage and age. I will not be at this particular age. So that is where the truthness happens actually. So I know, and then what happens is my interactions with the present generation is too much. So my friends, whether it's my friend circle or my acquaintance, and all these people are from these people from this time. So I know what exactly they expect. I know what they like, and more than that, I know what they do not like. And as a writer, I know I take precautions that I make it a point. I don't go to that not like no. So if you start repeating the same not like criteria on your stories, automatically children will start getting bored. They will not even turn that page.
Yes.
So knowing their psychology is must, and that will happen. You do not have to do any research for that. Just talk to them in their own style. So that's what I always believe. Keep changing as per the time. You are always young, and as long as you are young, everyone will start loving you, liking you, and the interaction with you also will be very interesting. So, and especially for children, they always because they are full of dreams. That is why I love them. They are full of dreams. So when actually people grow up, automatically it's the part and parcel of life that we have got many issues, problems, things to be solved, etc., etc., etc. Now carrying all these things at one corner of your brain, and when you are sitting to write a small funny poem or a story for a child, your first job is that push that away, come to this level, and then have a smile on your face and start writing. So without a smile, no children's story can be written, frankly speaking.
Yeah.
So that's why I say smile is precious, smile is magical, and a smile can do miracles. This is what I keep on telling children, and I keep on telling me, so that I'm able to write, these kinds of stories without any hurdles, without any tension, but with a happy face, with a smiling face. So this is the secret of writing children's stories from my side.
Amazing, sir. Okay, so when we talk about the children and also about writing, so like we already discussed about how it is different when you are writing about like for the children. But yes, child psychology, since we talked about a lot of times like about it, so I want to know a few points from you about child psychology, like how we can just keep it in our mind कि अगर आप थोड़ा सा elaborate कर सके child psychology को for us.
See, that's what I told you. See, I'm not an expert in the field to talk about child psychology. It's completely different field. But for that only, I just told you, like as a common man, as an individual, I will be able to succeed in this field only when I give a feeling to them that I am with them or I am one among them.
Yes.
So when I am with a child, automatically my presence, the way I talk, the way I behave, it gives a sense, it gives a feeling to that child that yes, I too belong to his category. That's what. So
Amazing.
that no, like that mechanism has to take place automatically.
Yes, yes.
Otherwise, it's very difficult. Otherwise, you cannot be friendly with children. And especially these days, children do not have much patience. You can't expect them to be at one place for
Yes.
not even more than 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So giving them a book and asking them to read something for a long time is not possible. So you have to win their heart. Then only you can be a successful person with regard to children's literature.
Agreed. Truly. Yeah. Like you cannot just make them sit without the interest. They are not going to read it then. Yes.
Yeah, good. And plus, then initially, there has to be a role played by the parents or elders, of course.
Yes.
Because they have to instill that particular feeling in them.
True.
This reading has to happen automatically. That interest has to take place. So I have seen some people, they take much initiative in this particular issue. Like they insist children at least sometime, at least maybe 15 minutes or 10 minutes in a day, read something. So that has to become a habit. Now the question will come: reading a book or reading online. So again, again there is a question.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, when we talk about writing and the writer's, vision and their thought, it seems to be something very interesting, right? But when we have a writer in front of us, so obviously I want to know how differently a writer thinks and how different his vision is from your point of view.
See, that's what I just mentioned earlier. That yes, if I have that instinct or if I have that talent to be a writer, then automatically by looking at an object, by looking at a movement, or by looking at something, it can be anything before our eyes, a story can be generated. A story can come automatically because it automatically happens. Yes. Even while reading a book, sometimes what happens, if you ask me, I don't get any theme to write. So either I will go for a very long ride, solo ride, by enjoying either the people or by enjoying nature. So if you frankly ask me, like, see, if you just look at people or say, just sit at one corner of uh, a road, a busy road, a crowded road, start watching people for some time, you will feel that yes, you may be sitting at one small place, maybe in a small locality, yes. But if you happen to see 10 people or 100 people, all those 10 people or all those people are completely different. So my first hobby is to watch people. I keep watching people. I keep watching their gestures. Everyone's smiles are different. You can see if you just sit in a bus while traveling, or when you are just walking on the road. When you start looking at the people, you will see some smiling faces, some angry faces, some sad faces. So these all things are different emotions, and emotions are applicable to a grown-up man and also to a child. Some people express it. See, especially what happens, children express it very frankly. When they want to cry, they will cry. But you and me cannot cry openly. People will laugh at us. So we have got, a grown-up person has got many restrictions, but a child has no restriction. If he or she wants to cry, they can do that. If they want to laugh, they can do that. If they want to play, they can do that. There is no. So those emotions I catch. And as you see, like, it's something like a garden. In a garden, we have got different flowers. Rose is beautiful, jasmine is beautiful, marigold is beautiful, all are beautiful. But shape is different, fragrance different, everything is different. Same way in a crowded area, when I watch people, I just pick up these differences from them. Their smile, their sadness, their emotions, I pick up. And automatically it becomes the story. Number one. Number two, another concept is, yes, we are reading a book. So while reading, sometimes one particular word gives me an idea to write another story. Yeah. So because it is there with me, it is there within me, so immediately I can grab that. I do not have to check in for that. I do not have to ask somebody now, what should I write? Nothing. I ask myself, what should I write? And automatically I get an answer. If I don't get an answer, I go out, I look at sky, I watch nature, I watch people, and then yes, by the time I come back, at least 5 to 6 stories will be ready. So it's very easy. It's an easy process. Amazing. So now to make it more clear, I will tell you. See, one of the magazines, it has got, I think around 6 lakhs subscribers. Okay. It's a children's magazine. Mm-hmm. So they asked me to start an illustrated story for their book. So I've been writing poems and stories for them. So suddenly, the chief editor called me and they wanted me to start a comic, which I had never ever written. They told me only their criteria, what they want. They want, there should be a new learning in each story, new learning, fun should be there, entertainment should be there, adventure and thrill should be there, and there should be eagerness and anxiety for the readers. So they gave all this, and they want something like a super natural character, something like that. So you won't believe, to make a new character. Now, if you ask me, writing a story is it's not a big deal to me. I can just do it. But to create a character which is not in existence anywhere, that is the toughest job. So for that particular illustration work, illustrated story, you won't believe, almost 1 week or more than that, I had made many rides, many places, a lot of imagination, a lot of thinking, and at the end, when I find a character name and when I check on Google, yes, that name is already in existence. So to get a name which is not in existence, then create a character which children will accept. because these comics are not for one book or two books or three books. Sure. That particular thing has been running for last 5 years now, 4.5 years. Successfully in that the comic has been running and children are liking that. So because of that, they asked me to write another comic and now two comics are there in one magazine. So one is a supernatural, superpower girl, and one is again this Katrina's Kingdom. One illustrated comic story has been running in the children's magazine published from Kochi. So again, as you asked, is Katrina Kingfisher. She's a princess in a jungle, and there many things are happening. So whatever is not supposed to take place in and around a school, in the society, all these things get reflected in those comics. That's what they actually wanted. Sometimes even the illustrator used to tell me, "Sir, please write a story." Nowadays, there's a lot of problem with this drug mafia. They are all roaming in and around school. Children are getting addicted to the drug and all these things. So you should have a story for that. Then yes, then I see. Then this princess is fighting no against this drug mafia. So it's a complete animal bird story, but through that we are giving them important social messages. So it's very interesting, and especially when I get a particular theme by a magazine team, they say yes, we want something like this. Then it becomes very challenging and it becomes very thrilling, but finally it becomes very magical. So now my third comic is going to take place again. Okay. From September. Amazing, sir. Okay, so now I'd like to know from you, how was your experience with SGSH publications? Ma'am, yes, absolutely. It was an amazing time with SGSH team. Let me be very frank. That share goodness, share happiness. So that share goodness, share happiness. That particular caption makes a lot of difference. And I'm very sincere. Spread goodness, spread happiness. Yes. Yeah. So spread goodness, yes. Share happiness. That's what no. Spread goodness, spread happiness. Spread happiness, yeah. Yes. We kept on talking about share, so immediately that stuck on my mind. Somewhat okay, similar, so, na? They are. Yes. Yeah, it's all similar only. Yes. Whether you spread or share, when you share, it spread. When yes. you spread, it automatically gets shared. So concept wise, there is no mistake. But then I should not change the caption of your this thing. Okay, so as you say that SGSH, the team itself makes a lot of difference. It gives a good amount of curiosity when a person first knows about it. And let me be very frank, my each interaction with the team was very nice. And what I liked most with SDSH is the first is my most important concern, that is truthfulness. So there was no hidden agenda. There was nothing hidden. The things were very clear. Okay, and that happens very rarely nowadays, because superficially we feel yes, everything is very fine, everything is good, but when we really get into that, then like as we normally see in other letters, the terms and conditions apply. The TNC I didn't see in your dealing, so that is one of the biggest advantages which I felt dealing with you. And secondly, the time management, the communication, friendliness is really appreciable. And absolutely, the transparency that I like very much. The transparency is very clear, it's very interesting, and none of you leaves any ambiguity in the mind of your authors. Whatever questions I had, I ask you and I get a proper reply, prompt reply without much delay. Then there is a clear platform where we can even chat and clear the things, clear the doubts, clear the ambiguity, and the process. Like I think I came to know about your publishing house with this your anthology Threads of Love. Yes. This from Insta and Facebook, when I came to know, I did, of course, as any person does. I also did a good research, and I felt so nice. Then I contacted your team through mail, not even on WhatsApp. And even my interactions with email was very nice. It was very clear. Then I came on WhatsApp because I felt yes, this is a true publishing house whom I can believe, whom I can trust, and whom I can entrust my work, even by closing my eyes. So once the manuscript is ready, yes, now I'm not bothered. I can tell you, yes, this is all that I want, and you are not just, as I mentioned earlier. I told you we should not speak from mouth; we should speak from heart. So when I am dealing with your team, I get that particular feeling in my mind. You are talking from your heart. You are writing from your heart. You are chatting from your heart, and that feeling automatically gives a special sense when two people deal with certain things. So, as an author, I can frankly say I love your publishing house very much, even though it's hardly, I think, 1 or 1.5 months time. Frankly speaking, I already had a talk with Divyaji, and in the coming few days, now I'm going to give my dream project to SGSH for publication.
Thank you so much.
I've been working on that book for more than 2 years. Thought process and almost 3 to 3.5 months day and night writing. It's going to be a very big project, and I already had a casual talk with her. And yes, I'm just waiting for my person to finish the illustration, and that book also is going to be published by your team. So that itself will give answer to all your queries.
Thank you
So
so
that
much.
is that is where you win. That is where you win because you are not asked me to do that. You just came with your anthology. I was just one co-author in that, and the way you had the interaction with your authors, I got that feeling. Yes, this is the right place. This is the right people with whom I can have a relation. See, doing business is one portion. Yes, everyone has to earn. For that reason only, everybody is working.
Yes.
Nothing is free in this world. So, more than that, keeping all those things aside, my focus is always about the relationships. Let the business take place at one side. At the same time, this side, a relation also has to grow up, and that relationship has to keep growing time to time. And that is going to be the real victory in each dealing. This is what my feeling.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. It was very amazing and like really interesting interviewing you. I got to know like so many interesting things from you, and I hope हमारी audience ने भी इस पूरे interview को बहुत ज़्यादा enjoy किया होगा. So thank you so much for this wonderful interview, sir.
Thank you.